before the end of the year.
I was gonna sing.
That'd be nice.
Oh, good.
Could we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance in a moment of silence, please? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Robbins?
Here.
Commissioner Rushton?
Present.
Commissioner Bailey?
Here.
Chairman Wessel?
Here.
Commissioner Sotis-Little, absent prior notice. Commissioner Allgaier?
Here,
Commissioner Lautner?
present.
Is there any public comment? We don't have commissioner comment on the agenda at this time, but is there any commissioner comment?
Well, I think our standard comment should be to thank Laura for putting these together.
Yeah.
Yes,
You know, it's a
thank you.
lot of work. On top of that,
Every year
she was taking
standard?
some time off, and she was rushing to get these out before she left, which, as you know, you all got these by the weekend, so thank you.
I wasn't anticipating such an early date for the meeting.
Yes. She chewed me out for suggesting today at this time, because she took Thursday off and Friday. But
I really think that I was the one that suggested that,
Oh.
so you can point the.
Well,
arrow.
thank you. I got chewed out.
No,
I won't mention names, but someone chewed me out for scheduling, so.
Well, as always, you've done
Yeah.
a wonderful job for us. Thank you.
Well, seriously, you know, this is a lot of work with
Oh,
these,
yeah.
Yes, thank you.
to get it in order and try to keep it where,
It's done manually, we don't have software to do it, and I think it's something we have to consider.
Well, the purpose of the meeting obviously is to review and make recommendations on vacancies. And Laurel, do you want to give us an overview of what you've got there?
You've had this for about a week, and the first tab includes an overview of all the applicants, and I omitted anyone whose application was 24 years old, or who had decided to remove themselves from a board. And the ones that were right around the 4-year limit, I left on there because it was only a matter of a couple weeks. But it gives you a good idea of what's out there. The ones that are blue indicate they are interested in a seat on that board. If it's a light red, it means that they are done at the end of this term. A solid red means that they are currently seated on it. Tab 2 is just simply the board policy. If you had a chance to review it, that's great. If you have any suggestions, if you come to changing this up, we can certainly explore that down the road. But it's pretty much the process. I'll also point out that we were lucky in the Enterprise did run quite an article in July, and that did generate probably more applicants than I've had in a long time since COVID. We did run a big ad in color in August the following month. So,
If I can ask, on the policy, have we had any complaints from our citizens in regards to the policy? No, okay.
I actually don't have the policy.
oh, tab 2?
Yeah. I know the policy.
here, you can.
You can borrow mine if you want.
I know the policy pretty well, so
I'll just get another one from Laura.
oh, thank you. How funny. Here's the one that-
You'll look good.
At the time that I was producing those, I was also zooming those.
We assume our longest serving commissioner would have it memorized by heart.
Exactly. I don't think we
In the
do.
copy.
Well, while we're on the board policy, I want to remind us of on page 3 of the policy in the second paragraph, we talk about this each time, to maximize opportunities for citizen participation. A citizen may normally serve on only one board, commission, committee, and/or authority. Further, a citizen can serve only 3 consecutive full terms. We haven't always followed that, but I think we ought to keep that in mind, and I think we ought to agree to not follow that if we don't. So,
And if anyone hasn't already done so, you received 4 documents before the meeting started that have a large number in the top right-hand corner that corresponds to the tab, and those are noted recommendations that I was still receiving as of today.
So it's the one with the handwritten 3 for,
Tab 3 for area
your
agency.
agency? Okay, got it. All right.
and when we have a commission or committee's recommendation, will you remind us of it?
Yes.
Okay. So, thank you. Are we ready to start with tab 3 and look at area agency on aging?
This one we just got that they're recommending reappointment of Ms. Wagner.
She has served 2 terms and is eligible for a third.
She served 2 terms, I'm sorry, I didn't hear the end of your statement.
She served 2 terms and is eligible for a third.
Okay.
I,
A question? Because I think Deb wants to make a motion. Have you got a question for?
No, go ahead.
I would move to recommend to the Board of Commissioners that we reappoint Elizabeth Wagner to the Area Agency on Aging of Northwest Michigan Board to a 2-year term expiring December 31st, 2024.
support.
Any discussion? All those in support of that motion say aye. Aye. Motion passes. We're now on tab 4, the Leelanau District Board of Health. Patricia?
Excuse me, let me get to tab 4 here. Okay, I would move to recommend Barbara Conley. She's been outstanding. She's eligible for another term or 2 terms?
Right now, she is eligible for her third term.
3rd term, that's what I thought. So she's been a mainstay for the board, and I think it's been very instrumental in helping the board be cohesive in their decision-making process, looking at all sides. So her leadership warrants it. I'd really recommend we reappoint Barb Conley again to that position.
Is that a motion?
That's a motion.
Support.
A long-winded one, but it's a motion.
Any discussion? All those in support of that motion say aye.
Aye.
Just for clarification, everything that you just said was very lovely, but I'm just going to put that you made a motion to recommend that Barb Connolly be appointed to the board and to the year it expires.
Thank you so much.
Is that, just so, I want to keep this moving in your minutes.
No,
I was going to say
that, you just have to give me a moment to settle here. I'm a privilege of it right now.
Has she really had 2 terms?
Yeah, I was thinking it was just 1, but she has been there 2 terms.
only 2.
Okay, we're now on tab 5. Yes, Melinda?
Yes, I would move to recommend to the Board of Commissioners to reappoint Mr. Barrows to the Leelanau Environmental Health Board of Appeals to a 2-year term expiring December 31, 2024.
Second.
I would like to discuss. So has he been on,
1 term.
he has been on 1 term. And we only have 1 seat open. Who's the other person?
We just Charles Bethel.
Yeah, the 3 members are
Okay,
Gwen, Don, and Charles.
okay.
Any other discussion?
Well, I support people being able to complete their tenure. He is not who I would have appointed, but I do support people being able to complete their tenure. So I would support, yeah.
Deb?
I don't see where he's on any other board. However, I do see where Godbout
Yes.
is on other boards. Is that a correct statement? The dark blue, are those the ones that he's on?
He's interested in, I think.
Or are they just he's just interested?
That's interest.
Yeah,
Blue is
Oh,
interest.
okay.
they indicated they like us to,
But the red ones,
these are currently seated.
okay, so he's on two boards right now?
I think Mr. Burrows is only on one right now, and that is this board. He has indicated he'd like the board of health as well.
I'm talking about Godbout.
Oh, God, no.
Charlie's on
Two
environmental health, and he's also on parks. He just got appointed.
appointed to parks, okay.
But you know, the Board of Health, that particular thing met once in the last 2 years.
Oh, environmental health.
Board of Appeals.
Mhm.
We met once.
Well, we're currently talking about Don Barrows, and Charlie is not, his term goes until next year, so.
Right. Right.
All those in support of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed, same? Motion passes.
So I didn't include this as a handout, but Amber sent me an email in that she has not come back from Mr. Aaron's on his credentials to serve on the construction board. Therefore, she would ask that Mr. Walter be reconsidered to fill the vacancy on the construction board. He is eligible to serve another term. It is a long term, 5 years.
So he
Well,
has served one, Walters.
Mr. Walter has served 2 terms, and his check can attest, they meet seldomly.
They met 4 times in 10 years.
Okay.
3 of those meetings being the last 2 years.
Okay.
Mr. Walters is a architect, and
Architect, yeah.
that brings some value.
Okay.
Deb?
I would move to recommend to the Board of Commissioners that F. John Walter be reappointed to the Construction Board of Appeals. What's his category?
Architecture.
Thank you. To a 5-year term just expiring December 31st, 2022.
Support.
Any discussion? All those in support of that motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same? Motion passes.
I can tell you, he takes this very seriously and does a very thorough job of researching issues before they come from the custom boards. We're fortunate to have him.
You know, I was going to say that I thought he was kind of old to serve, but then I remembered I went to school with him.
Be careful what you say.
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
We're now at tab 7, Department of Health and Human Services.
And there's a recommendation on that.
And it is,
Yes.
Oh.
Commissioner
I
Rushton?
understand.
Yes, I would move to recommend to the Board of Commissioners to appoint Greg McMorrow to the Department of Health and Human.
Oh,
he
he doesn't,
doesn't
so
want to be there.
He does
Oh.
not seek reappointment.
it's Terrence Mulvihill?
I'm sorry, I'll withdraw.
So if you have this handout that says 7 at the top right-hand corner, that's attributable to this vote.
Okay, so their first recommendation is Terrence Mulvihill?
Yes. Malvin Hill,
Mulvihill,
yes.
okay. So
Commissioner Wapner?
I will try it then. I would move to recommend to the Board of Commissioners to appoint Terrence Mulvihill to the Department of Health and Human Services Board to a 3-year term expiring December 31, 2025.
Support.
Any discussion?
Yeah, what are his qualifications for that?
On page,
It's a
You
her.
applied?
it's the
Her?
recommendation.
Terrence is a her?
Oh, no, I guess not.
It's immediately after Charles'
Nope, I'm wrong.
application.
Right.
He retired from Home Network. In his capacity as an external affairs director, worked closely with VHS and served as lobbyist for the Home Network. He is very familiar with VHS.
Okay.
Any further discussion? All those in support of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion passes.
Land Bank also has a recommendation immediately preceding.
Um,
I would make the motion motion by Lois Bailey to recommend the Board of Commissioners to reappoint Dan Hines to the Land Bank Fast Track Authority Board to a 3-year term expiring December 31st, 2025.
I thought you wanted to be on it.
I can't be.
Okay.
There's a motion, is there a second?
I supported the motion.
Okay. Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in support of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0, or 7-0. We're now down to Parks and Recreation, tab 9. We have 2 members of that commission here, Rick and Melinda. Do we have a recommendation from them? Melinda?
I was just looking for that. I was out of town for last month's Parks meeting, but I believe they recommended Mr. Walter?
Yes, it's preceding the motion.
Okay, so I would recommend to the Board of Commissioners to reappoint Mr. Walter, Mr. John Walter, correct? To the Parks and Recreation Commission to a 3-year term expiring December 31, 2025.
Support?
Support?
Okay, and the other one is on hardly ever meets. Okay.
Any discussion? All those in support of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same.
Yeah, he's,
We're now at the Planning Commission, tab 10.
I have an update on that. Trudy reached out to David King, and I think because he's on a few other boards, he does not want to be considered at this time for the planning spot.
Who is this?
Mr. King.
Mr. King.
And Tom Nixon does want to be reappointed.
Yes. Okay. And Mr. Nixon is in the municipal government category. The motions that are displayed are per category.
So, motion?
so was there recommendations out of the Planning Commission?
No.
Let's,
Oh, I thought I saw one by Trudy here.
we have 5 seats open.
So it looks, Tom Nixon is color-coded gray on your chart. Does that mean he's not interested?
Municipal.
If you're looking at the first page, under the tab, he is highlighted in blue for municipal government category, and he does seek reappointment.
Oh,
He's
okay.
the only one of the 5 that seeks reappointment.
Okay.
So did you want to tackle the municipal
Yes,
government category first?
yeah. I would make that motion, put him in that slot. Do you have the motion?
I'll support
That's a
it.
reappointment, right?
Yes, reappointment of Tom Nixon. Yep.
I'll support.
It's been moved and supported. All those in support say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Okay. So we have to do tourism.
Oh. This is going to get interesting.
Are you gonna do, like Laurel has, an agricultural now?
Right. Trying to remember who qualified under ag.
How come Casey's under recreation instead of agricultural?
That was
He
the
sits
position.
on the parks. He sits on there for Parks and Recreation.
Okay.
So if we appointed him as our ag representative, then Parks and Recreation could send somebody else to Planning Commission. Is that correct?
That would be a good training question.
Because he comes to Planning Commission off of Parks and Recreation, correct?
Well, he's designated by planning. The planning commission designates someone from planning, and he had applied as the recreation category for this application.
So he's on, what you're saying is he's on from Parks and Rec onto the Planning Commission, right, vice versa.
he sits on planning, and planning designates him onto
Recreation.
So that's what I'm saying, I had it backwards, okay. Yeah, otherwise.
And who
he
is this person?
would- Casey Noonan,
Oh,
Casey Noonan. So, um,
Are you going to suggest, are you going to make a motion to appoint Casey as a? the park?
no, because I think,
Casey's good through next.
Okay.
Next year.
Okay.
Yeah, he has 2 more years.
so, and, okay. So we have,
Rodney Brush for business category. Did anybody else apply
so we
for
have, yeah,
business?
Rodney Brush interested and not sitting on any other boards.
Yeah, I can say Rodney Brush, who applied last year, he hasn't been appointed to anything. Yeah, last year. He hasn't been appointed to anything yet.
Okay. And then, who is in, then, planning commission, this is a hard, okay.
And the way that I understood it from Trudy is someone could actually qualify for multiple categories. So even though he selected legal real estate, I'm looking at his application and it looks like he had something to do with the roads, and maybe he would fall under the transportation category. Looks like he's got a lot of good references.
And then Rick Foster, is he?
Rick Foster, and he used me for reference. I like Richard Foster, Dr. Foster. He is on the land bank and the brownfield.
Right, already, yep.
Yes.
All right. So, there is Eric Winkleman, who is presently not serving on a board, who's interested. And Eric probably fall into a couple different categories if need be. Okay, then we have Tom McDonald.
I know Tom McDonald.
Yep.
And I would sure support Tom.
He does sit on Solid Waste Council, but that's not, I would not say that's a quote-unquote big board. It's an important board, but we don't have any, really pressing issues other than locations. So he could be how many more we, 4?
Yeah, we had a couple that withdrew and some of the health issues. And it looks like Mr. McDonald, he has it listed as a business qualification. So did you want to maybe consider for the business?
Let's do that. I would make that motion to slide Mr. Tom McDonald into the business
I'll support.
seat.
Any discussion? All those in support of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
We do not have to fill all 5 positions at
We
this
don't,
time.
we don't. We do
I
have
would-
this Mr. Brush, though, and he does not serve on anything presently. How do we feel? Can he fit into a category?
When he listed legal real estate,
And we have Mr. Black in real estate, don't we?
You mentioned Winkleman. He's not serving on any boards at this time?
He's not. He has served on planning commission in the past,
Yeah, he
but
has quite a
he's
bit.
not on, he's been off for several years now.
How
So
about
he would
David,
be eligible again.
how's David King? Is he,
You
well,
should-
that's the one that Trudy asked us to pull. She contacted him.
okay, sorry.
So,
Are you talking about Rodney Brush?
yes.
Yeah.
Jude,
If he's never served or not currently serving anything and has applied?
yeah, and he's partially retired, business development realtor. So what category do we think? We did municipal, and we did, what other one?
Business, I think.
So we have tourism, transportation, and ag.
So could he be tourism?
Yeah, maybe if he's in,
And we have Tom,
He volunteered for local community events, which kind of inadvertently is sort of like tourism.
I would, if we left a field, if I may, if we left a field, I would, personally, if we're going to leave one of these open and not stretch an appointment, I would like for us to leave ag open and look for an ag representative.
Tom Nixon's not on anything.
Tom is on Parks.
You just.
Oh, seated on,
We
I'm
just put
sorry.
him
We just put them on government.
I'm sorry.
I know.
Isn't he on Parks
I'm
too?
seeing red and blue
What do I say?
dots,
Maybe it's
squares
Planning Commission I
everywhere.
said come on. Yeah, Planning Commission. So.
Did you make a motion for Rodney?
I'm willing to, I was trying to figure out which category he would slide into. So we put Mr. McDonald in business, did we?
Yeah, we did.
Yes.
So, okay, so let's leave ag open, so that leaves tourism and transportation.
I think tourism is a better fit than
With the
transportation.
development, okay. Is that your motion?
Yes.
All right,
I'm
What
sorry,
was the
what was that
motion?
motion? I missed
A
it.
motion is to appoint Rodney M. Brush to the Planning Commission in the category of tourism.
Any discussion? All those in support of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Who seconded that? Who seconded?
yes.
Are we willing to hold the two additional
Sure, I
positions
think we
vacant?
should.
So
Yep.
we're going to hold ag and what other one? Tourism?
Transportation.
Transportation,
Transportation, sorry.
yeah, transportation ag, and I think we can find
Maybe,
somebody
maybe
for ag.
Trudy can help us recruit for that.
Or have a suggestion
And
of
I
one
think
of
we
these.
should put a small ad in the enterprise as well.
Okay, because we'll have to get an application.
Yeah, maybe we can solicit some, there's so many, so many more opportunities or facets of agriculture that weren't here 20 years ago, including, most of our wineries and
Can I just get clarification of what we've just done? You did Tom Nixon for government municipal. You did, is it Thomas McDonald?
Yes.
And he was for business category. And then, is this last person's name Rodney Bush? Brush.
B-R-U-S.
Okay, we're now on soil erosion, runoff control, ordinance Board of Appeals.
And that's another board that meets seldomly, and that's kind of where Mr. Messer did not want to be reconsidered for this purpose.
Well, we do have Richard Esperning on there, and I do know that he is deeply involved in wetlands protection and has been very involved in the Timber Shores thing.
Right.
Takes it seriously.
Fishburne.
He's the only application we have.
Well, there's, Mr. Welch does seek reappointment.
These are 2 seats.
Okay, so there's,
Sorry, I didn't include him.
there are 2 seats. So why don't we reappoint Welch?
I would move that we appoint Richard Esperning to one of those seats.
Support.
All those, any discussion? All those in support of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed?
And
And then you're recommending
Mr. Welch to the
Mr. Welch?
second.
Is that a motion, Gwen?
Yes.
Is there a second?
Support.
Any discussion? All those in support of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved, 7-0.
You want to be on this, right?
This is the one I think is fun, yeah.
So the Solid Waste Council literally just met. So props to Trudy for getting your recommendations out. And they have unanimously recommended the appointment of all members whose terms are expiring.
So that is Tim,
There's 7 of them, isn't there?
Andrew, Marcia, Carrie, and Lois
I
Bailey.
would go back to being a citizen at large.
I would make that motion.
Okay, so wait,
Is that a
back
complete
up. So we have, we won't do we're not doing the commissioner appointment yet. So we're doing,
Right, so Lois won't be the commissioner appointee yet. She became in May.
right,
So she wants to be on as a citizen appointee.
right. So in which seat? So we have Tim Boland, you're recommended in who are the names? You said Tim Boland?
Yes.
Okay. Andy Gale,
Yes.
Marcia Harris,
Yes.
Carrie Sharp.
Yes.
Okay, and then what seat are we? Oh, and so Lois will become instead of a commissioner appointee, she will become a citizen?
Yes.
So that's the same seat,
Yes.
citizen appointee. Okay, I understand.
We still have one more possibility, but should we approve those 5 and then talk?
Okay,
Anybody want to make a formal motion?
Support, I would make that motion to do all the things Melinda said.
Does our clerk need
can we get that in
names?
quotes or caps?
Who seconded that?
I
Nobody?
think that Lois did.
Oh, I just have a question.
Yes.
My cheat sheet says 4 and you just appointed 5. Is that 5th coming someplace else?
Well, that's because at the time, I wasn't mentally thinking about Lois being out of the picture as a commissioner. That when I started building this book, the election hadn't been conducted. So it really is 5.
Okay, so we're okay. We're not over. Got it.
But there are 7 seats open.
In that one,
Well, there's 9 total with plus 2 ex officio, non-voting members.
And we have 7 seats open.
no, we don't have 7 seats open.
That's
No.
what this
That's what it
says.
says on
Solid
top.
Waste Council? 7
Yeah, but we
seats open.
Well,
don't.
it also says we have
Oh,
14
yeah.
members up here. No,
That's
they're
not
either.
correct. That was 5 seats open.
This was my problem child page. I apologize.
So here's my question. First off, we need to decide how many at-large citizen seats we have available. Because Lois currently holds the commissioner appointee position.
As did Melinda. And I wasn't sure.
Correct. But if we are filling the other at-large citizens with at-large citizens, then the seat that Lois currently holds would be open to a commissioner seat and not a person at large.
I was told to convert it from at-large and make it commissioner, which I did. And I wasn't quite sure how that worked out because I wasn't attending a meeting when these appointments were made for commissioners in May when you took over. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that. So when I was updating this page, this was obviously the one page I didn't do as well. But
So-
I know that they changed it from 11 to 9, but then they kept 2 ex officio non-voting members to make it 11.
So did we change that seat specifically for a commissioner to serve on that board?
I believe we did when Lois was elected.
Okay, so now are we going to change that seating position back to an at-large, or is it going to remain a commissioner? Because if we do that, I have a problem with that.
With which?
Because
Which do you have the problem
Well,
with?
I have a problem with Lois served on the board as an at-large citizen, is that correct? Before she became commissioner. She became a commissioner, and then the powers that be changed the seat definition. And so if we go back and change that seat to an at-large citizen, I have a problem with that. Because we are changing our rules so that we can accommodate certain people to do certain things. And that's unfair.
I think we didn't consciously do that. I think we didn't.
It's been done.
No, let me finish.
Okay.
I think we just said that Lois has been serving on there. She'll continue during that term, but I don't remember us officially changing that to commissioner at large, or commissioner. We just agreed at our
Then
appointment.
she shouldn't have been serving on this board while she was a commissioner. And that's a problem as well.
She was serving as a,
I don't care if she's on the
Well,
board.
maybe we should
I don't-
go back
I don't
and get a
That's
clar-
not the issue. It's not about
Right,
you,
I
Lois.
see what you're saying.
Yeah, prior
It's a question
to,
of
if you
what we
look at
did in
past
May.
years, we've had one commissioner on solid waste council.
That's what I was just
Correct.
going to ask.
Yes. And Lois was serving as a member of the at-large. So you're right. I don't think it ever came to the board to switch it from 1 to 2 commissioners. I don't know how that decision was made. I think you just stayed on.
It's unfair.
That's what we did. We allowed her to
We'd
stay
have to
on.
look and see if it was done officially or not. We may
doesn't
not
matter
have
if it was
changed
done
it
officially or
officially, it
not.
might have just happened.
It doesn't matter if it was official or not. If we're going to allow commissioners to serve on boards of choice, because those are the boards they want to serve on or stay on or whatever, what's our policy?
Well, until we read minutes and see what we did,
It doesn't
we
matter.
don't know.
It doesn't
really
matter
don't know.
one way or the other.
We don't know what to
Let's-
undo yet.
Let's,
Tell me how it matters, what the minutes say, whether we did it officially.
Well, we don't
or
know
not.
if we
We
have
allowed
anything.
it.
We don't know if we have anything to undo.
We allowed it. And as I understand, commissioners serve by appointment.
If you look at our January organizational meeting, I believe we have 1 seat on solid waste council for commissioners. And we always had, I think, the 1 seat.
That's pretty rogue.
Yeah, so I think you have a valid point, because we had, when we do appointments in January, I'm guessing you'll have we've always appointed 1 person, 1 commissioner to be on solid waste council,
I think the confusion
because of the
just came
unique
with-
set of circumstances that happened.
Confusion just came with the recall
Yes.
election. Now what do I do, you know?
well, so now we have
Right, we
to, now
should
we
have-
have to resolve it.
Put a citizen
I would,
on there in May. That was what we
Okay,
should have done technically.
I would move to recommend that we revert back to having 1 commissioner appointment on solid waste council and the rest be members at large.
Second.
Any discussion? I mean, that's all we can do is correct what we did. So all those in support of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I think we have 6 with 1 abstaining. Right,
So,
Deb?
I'm going to stay on this one. You might call it that.
so how many citizen appointments do we need here?
Unbelievable.
7's wrong, so we need what, 4 or 5?
So if you look at the
Politics for you.
highlight, you have Lois,
Well, it shouldn't
Tim,
have happened
Andrew,
in May.
Marcia, and Carrie
Exactly.
are the only ones that are up for reappointment.
2, 2. Alice,
So we haven't, well, for,
5.
Let's,
And there's 11 members total, which includes 2 ex-official members. So there's only 9 voting members on this board.
Are we supposed to appoint 5 today?
Yes.
okay, Commissioner Lautner?
I was just,
You still have a motion on the floor
we had a motion on.
with support. You had a motion on
For the
support.
5, we took a motion out of turn.
You have a motion on the
Clerk.
floor with support, and then we had and voted on Chairman Wessel's motion. So I just want to make sure you know there's still that motion by Alguier, supported by Bailey for the appointment of 5.
Right.
So would you read the motion as it reads? It's on the floor now, please.
Motion by Alguier to reappoint, well, I added the word reappoint, Bolin, Gale, Sharp, Harris, and appoint Lois Bailey, citizen appointee, seconded by Bailey.
Okay, that sounds good. That's what I would make.
Who were the 5 names?
Tim Bolin, Andrew Gale, Marcia Harris, Carrie Sharp, Lois Bailey.
Any discussion? Deb?
And so the position of Lois Bailey, is that going to be a commissioner appointee or an at-large citizen? Because we haven't changed our rules yet.
I put the motion out of turn on the floor, and it was approved by a count of 6 to 1 abstention.
So
to
is that
convert
invalid?
that to a,
Is it invalid because that motion was taken out of turn?
would you like me to make it again?
You were in the middle of another motion.
If we amend Because I'm a little concerned that, because this is an agenda that says commissioner appointments, and this is really about structure, but
Exactly.
I understand the frustration, and I also don't like it. I think that this will reverse something we probably shouldn't have done in May. So if we amend the motion to say that the fifth seat, reappoint Lois Bailey as a citizen appointee, does that take care of the issue?
Deb?
I would like to amend the motion to remove Lois Bailey's name from this particular motion
Support.
And appoint 4.
and
This
appoint
motion
four,
would be for
correct.
4. Okay.
And
Who seconded that?
I did.
because,
Because we need to
Clarification.
settle the dispute before we can vote for Lois.
I think Melinda's amendment handles that.
No, I was asking a question of what that amendment would look like. I was just trying to feel out the amendment to try to take care of the issue of the road motion.
Let's all speak to the amendment.
I think, if I'm correct, what Commissioner Russian is suggesting is a motion on the floor, then our chair can make the motion that he made out of order, and then we can make a motion to appoint Lois.
It's all about structure. It's all about how we behave.
Is,
It's all about how we circumvent the curves and the corners outside the fundamentals of how we operate.
and did I correctly
That's
summarize what you were trying to do?
That's my thought.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? There is an amendment, yes?
Make sure that your motion states to waive board policy for the 4, because they're all over the 3-term limit.
But right now, we're just going to vote on the amendment by,
So we're saying
Right.
you're saying they're not eligible unless the board waives its policy, because they've served the 3 terms.
They've served over 3 consecutive terms.
We have an amendment on the floor. All those in support of the amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same?
Abstain, stay on this fight.
Okay. The amendment is passed 6 with 1 abstention.
Okay.
Now we have to vote on the,
You have to remake your motion.
Can I make a motion?
yeah,
I'd like to make a motion that we appoint Bill Perkins.
but we have an amendment on the floor already to appoint 5 and then or 4, and now we got to vote on the original motion with the amendment approved. So now we're voting on 4 absent Lois.
I thought we already did that.
No.
No, you approved the amendment.
We approved the
Oh.
amendment. So all those in support of the, yes, Melinda?
I may have another amendment, because I guess I did not realize we were at over terms. So I'm going to back up. And as I'm looking at this, we have perhaps a new person here. I think we have Thomas Peterson. I don't know that he's ever served on anything before, and he is interested in solid waste. So as you said in the beginning with we have to be careful to allow new people to serve. So I think we need to reevaluate this.
Okay.
And I don't know how long, and we're going to look at that, aren't we? Because you've got that in a chart. How long some people have served on these boards. So we have at least one, a Mr. Peterson, who's interested, who has never served. And I think there's a Kathleen Kavanaugh that's interested, and I don't recognize that name either. And she's not at serving on anything either. So there, it looks to me like two people that are not serving on anything who would be new opportunity to serve. And there is Bill Perkins. Bill has served in the past for a number of years. I don't think anybody served longer than Bill in the past. But he's been off a couple years now.
So do we know how long these other people have served?
It's on the backside of that sheet.
If you look at the back of this page, it shows.
Backside of the sheet you get here.
Bill Perkins last term ended in 2021.
Right, last year.
Where?
Okay,
This sheet.
so he's newly off. He's
Oh,
newly
I was
off.
doing it
There you
wrong.
I do have this extending to 2000, and I did not, for sake of space, I didn't include anything before 2010, and Mr. Perkins has served quite a long time.
So
So Andrew Gale and Harry Sharp have been on. Well,
Have they been on the
Gale's been
longest?
off and on.
all right,
Ms. Sharp has served 4, Mr. Gale has served 5 times. Mr. Bowen has served 5 times.
5 and 5, and who was the other one? Is it Harris? That's up? How long has Harris served?
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, she's served 4, 7.
Over 7, and she's one of them, right? That's up right now? So if we amended the motion to, let me see, is Mr. Bolin on any other boards right now? That's his
Maybe
only,
the simplest way is just defeat the motion amendment, start from scratch.
okay.
And do them one at a time.
Yeah, do one at
Yep,
a time.
let's withdraw that
Make it
motion.
cleaner, and you can just start
Let's do
fresh.
that. Let's withdraw that motion.
Withdraw your amendment.
I'll
Are you
withdraw
willing
the
to withdraw your
amendment
motion?
Yeah, what's,
Yes.
The motion
Yes.
has been
that I was trying to
withdrawn.
make. Yeah,
We've
okay.
succeeded
So
in
we
making
have,
this.
we have no motions on the floor.
So if we look at this, then we have, we could easily put Kathleen Kavanaugh and Thomas Peterson on in 2 of these seats. Logically, Marcia Harris and either Tim Bolin or Andrew Gale.
And Andrew Gale is with
He's with our recycling.
Recycling Center and
Yep.
has a
Yep.
real role on that
Yep.
council.
So
but-
we better stay on.
But, it's the only thing Andrew Gale serves on, it's the only thing,
In fact, it's easy to say that most of the people who serve in solid waste, that is the only board we can serve
okay.
with some exceptions.
They're passionate.
So, yeah, if we take Mr. Bolin off, I don't know, maybe he's interested in planning commission. He might, I don't know exactly what he does. We can find that out.
I think Tim has more trouble getting to the meetings.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Tim Bolin has trouble getting to the meetings.
I know he works. They're really difficult to get to with anybody who's still employed, and I know he's still employed. So, we don't have to look at categories, just positions?
They changed it last year,
Okay.
and they totally did away with categories.
So I'm going to I'll make a motion to appoint Kathleen Kavanaugh.
Support.
Are we going to do them one at a time? Okay,
Yep.
all right,
For 2-year term expiring
Yes.
December 31st.
yep.
Motion to appoint Kavanaugh. Any discussion? All those in support of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes
I
7-0.
would make a motion to appoint Thomas Peterson for a 2-year term expiring 2023? 4? 24, yes, this is 22, isn't it? How'd that
I'll
happen?
support.
Discussion? All those in support of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Win?
I make a motion to appoint Lois Bailey for a 2-year term, commencing January 23.
Second?
December 2023.
Okay.
Discussion?
Who seconded that? I couldn't hear.
Well,
I did.
Okay, thank you.
Discussion? All those in,
Wait, I have a question.
Yep.
Okay, because we didn't do that yet, okay. Gotcha, I see what you're doing.
all those in support of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Okay.
I
We still have
move,
two seats? Two seats?
two seats left. I move that we reverse the decision that we made in May and have only one commissioner on Solid Waste Council and have the other remaining seat be member at large.
Support.
All those, any discussion? All those in support of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. Did you get that, Michelle?
So I would move then to appoint Andrew Gale.
Support.
Two-year term ending December 31, 2024.
Support.
Any discussion? All those in support of the motion say aye.
Aye.
We
Rick?
have one left, right?
I move that we support, make a motion for Bill Perkins.
So who does that leave off?
Carrie Sharp.
Carrie Sharp
And Marcia Harris,
and Marcia Harris.
yeah, who's chairing, and I think she got
Well,
valuable
Rick
ideas.
has made a motion that hasn't been seconded.
Oh,
Is
okay.
there a second? Melinda?
I would make a motion, we appoint Carrie Sharp for a two-year term on Solid Waste Council expiring December 31, 2024.
Support.
Any discussion? All those in support of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Marcia's chair.
Oh, yeah, I think you have Thomas Peterson.
She's been on 6
Lois
terms.
Bailey,
Yeah,
Andrew Gale, and Carrie
and
Sharp.
she's very engaged.
I know she is.
Did you get all that, Michelle?
Laurel and I will compare notes.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah.
Just tell her it's just.
I officially apologize for the error I made in May about not doing that appointment in the proper way.
Well, the problem with that is we have an applicant that now works for the county who serves on a board. And if that person comes to us and wants to continue to serve on that board, that puts us in a bad place.
Understand?
So, you know, we got to dot our i's and cross our t's when it comes to fairness. Thank you.
I agree.
We, the next one is the Veterans Affairs Administrative Committee, and our representative, Robert Grabowski, has taken one of our applicants to the meetings and urges us to appoint him, and that is Steve Stanton. But I'll open the floor to motions.
I was just going to recommend that we appoint Steve Stanton to our Veterans Affairs Administrative Committee for a two-year term expiring December 31, 2024.
Support.
Any discussion?
He had me at having served in both Korea and Vietnam.
Yep.
Steve Stanton did?
Yeah.
Wow.
All
Never
those
met
in
him.
support of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Right.
Now, the last thing to review is just an update on the board that you have no decision making over, and that's the Workforce Development Board. I included a string of emails between myself and then Director Mitch Polly, and then with Mr. Vandercook, and they are working on these appointments to that board.
We have no
So,
action needed.
Will that eventually come before this board for an approval?
yeah, we usually do that.
Okay.
There are glasses here.
That concludes our agenda.
I wonder if they would work.
Good job.
Is there any public comment? Any commissioner comment?
Not up close, darn it.
So how are these people all notified then?
Well, they'll get a letter.
Okay.
But that's after the formal approval, which will come in December.
Okay.
So are you going to send us a list of what we just did?
Well, just a minute.
You'll get it in the minutes.
It'll be in the board packet.
We'll come up with a recommended motion listing.
You have it all in one sheet.
No, I put it on each
Um,
page.
I should have.
And I think the only one that.
No conversation, please. We're still in the meeting. Patricia?
Well, two comments. The first is thank you, Laurel. You put this together and make our job so much easier. Thank you very much for what you did. And the other is my apologies for being tardy. My husband had a medical appointment and the doctor was an hour late. So that made us a little bit late and we couldn't really reschedule it. Pardon?
Those are billable hours, aren't they?
Well, in fairness to him, he had an emergency at the hospital, so.
Melinda, I think I saw your hand up.
I'm just under commissioner comments. I just wanted to thank Laurel for all the hard work done in this, and Michelle for covering our meeting today.
Anybody else?
I want to thank her for making coffee.
Just thank you.
I'm going to get some now.
Thank you, Laurel.
It's up and on the record, it was Deb Rush who made the suggestion not me to have this time, so you owe me an apology.
It's in the minutes now, it's
Yeah, so
official.
thank you, Commissioner Rush.
And I
for
would
coming
like to know
forward.
who allowed the snow to fall
Oh,
this
man.
week.
That was-
I don't know.
Laurel.
Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Okay, so public hearing at 6:30
Yeah.
and 6:45. I'm sure we'll be swamped.